Hello, it is Felix. I am back with another review. As you can see, I am back in my room, but I'm sitting on my sibling's bed because she has better lighting than my bed. Okay, so I'm here to review Slow Boat by Hideo Furukawa. Still not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. I'm so sorry. But it was a very good book. And I remember, or if you watched my haul video from the library fair, you'll remember me saying that I picked this book up because the cover art is pretty and I just got a good vibe from it. And that vibe was correct and happened to fit very well with this book because it's all about symbols and the connection between just everything in the universe and the thin line between reality and fantasy, and I consider like getting a vibe of something. It's very similar to that and kind of goes along that. So yes, got a good vibe from it. Read it very, very, very quickly. Took me like a few hours, like 2 hours to read this. But it was, and that was in between doing other things. So yes, quick read, very enjoyable. I read some reviews for it and people didn't like it, which is strange because I loved it. But I have a weird taste in books. I really like, I think it's because I love poetry and this is very poetic. It's very much a poem in prose and I'm a fan of that sort of writing. It's semi-chronological, which is interesting because there are kind of two different timelines going on at the same time, which is fascinating to me. It talks about the narrator's girlfriends throughout his life, and then also his attempts to get out of Tokyo, Japan. So it's fascinating. The line between reality and fantasy is so unclear. I have no idea. And I think he has no idea what's real and what's not. So that's super interesting because it reads almost dystopian at some points with how he's describing things. But I think it takes place over the course of his real life. But I think part of that is because a lot of this book centers around dreams. And I find dreaming fascinating because it is how your brain deconstructs everything that happened during the day or during your life, and I think that's really where the line between fantasy and reality can blur, because I'm not sure about you guys, but I lucid dream a lot of the time, which is a very strange experience, because I can control what I'm doing in the dream, and I know I'm dreaming, but it's also really scary, because I want to wake up, and sometimes I can't when I would like to. So it's a really strange experience, and I'm not a fan, but I feel like it's cool that I've experienced that a lot. And this kind of reminded me of that, of this weird being able to control what you're doing in a dream and trying to apply what you've learned from your dreams and put them into real life. So yes, I enjoyed that. I loved how I won't spoil anything, but everything came together at the end in a lovely way. It was very circular, and I love that sort of ending. So that was pretty great. It's kind of like, I don't know, like The Outsiders, if you've read that book. I read it for school in 7th grade, and it began and ended at the same place. And that's kind of what this did, but not quite. It's very interesting how it all came together. And I think it was realistic in a way that usually endings like that aren't. So I appreciated that. I found the writing was gorgeous, super poetic. I loved it. If you like poetry, give Slow Boat a read. It's not quite a poem. I shouldn't hammer that home. It's a poem in prose. It's very much prose, but it's just so beautiful. So yes, if you're okay with less linear storytelling. This is a good book. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. And it was very much my kind of book. But a lot of people hated it. So maybe I'm in the minority of people who loved it. But yes, go give it a shot. Slow Boat. Alright, thank you so much. Bye.